Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today we're taking a look at the next short story in this Ursula K. LeGuin's collection called The Matter of Seggri. It is a 46-page long short story, which I read last night for the first time. As when I'm reviewing this collection that we picked up, it's in the second half of the collection of science fiction things and such. I like that it's set in the same world as many of our other things, like The Left Hand of Darkness, some of the other short stories. It has like the Ecumen and the Hainish and such like that, and various things and so forth. And The Matter of Seggri is basically a planet that they have discovered, and they're doing basically a first contact with. And then this 46-page short story then is the submission report by the person who was in charge of its survey, and they were there for years and years and years and such. And so he has the initial officer's log from a captain, then another person who was there and was on a first contact mission that was pretending to be crashed and clueless, and then later on we'll find other people, mission reports. We'll find a statement by somebody. We'll find actual proper information. We'll find a letter from one of the locals to one of the people that's in the first contact mission. And we'll even find a short story that's pretty cool, and that's set in the world too. So it's a short story within a short story, and in order to show what their literature and culture is like, and then it ends with an autobiographical note by a local person. So that's sort of what's happening of this short story. It's a documentary framing device, kind of like Dracula has newspaper articles and journal entries and that sort of a thing, in order to lend a sense of groundedness and credibility and reality, because that's exactly what you would probably get from an actual proper thing, right? So we're taking a look at the planet of Seggri. And again, I keep my reviews spoiler free, but basically what's going to be happening in the first couple of pages, you'll find out that the people here on this planet are humanoid and in our descendants of us and so forth, and the sort of their nature of their percentages of people that are male and female are radically different than our own. For example, here, you got roughly a 50% chance. I think there's, if you actually look at the math, it's not a pure to be born male or female, right? But here, the differences are different, right? There, you're much more likely to be born female than male. And then men are born very, very harshly, and typically very weak, and rarely make it to later on. To adulthood, or even teenagers, years at the age of 11 when they're committed. So that's what's happening, and so forth. So that's sort of the nature of sort of what's happening and so forth. So basically, the society, the women are doing the work that most men would do, like labor, working. Farming, making all the agriculture stuff, all the industry stuff. They're the officers that are in the cities and such, and the men are basically the army of the world, right? And they train in a military, in the sports contests too, in order to show their strength, and so forth. So that's basically the basic breakdown of the world that we'll find out. We also find on our first couple pages that because of the nature of people on this world, if women will pay men to have sex with them at affiliated and official establishments, and then at these places, if they get pregnant, they will give them a bonus, and if it's a male child that they take to term and is born, it'll be even a bigger bonus, right? And so forth. And so men that have male childs in a world where males are like 1 out of 8 or something like that are very, very prized, right? And such. So that's basically the basics of the world that you find out like in the first 5 or 6 pages. Again, no spoilers or what's happening and such. But that's basically the basic overview and so forth of the world that's set out. Now there is a lot of cursing here and there, and there are sex scenes and that sort of a thing. Because the women overwhelm, they typically will set up relationships with other women and so forth, so they'll set up what they call mothering communities, where they marry other wives and such, and will have children with men from the areas. They don't marry each other and so forth. That system's just not in existence here. Right, and so forth. So there are some sex scenes. There is also a very short, but it's there. There is a sexual assault scene too, by somebody. So if that's just a trigger warning, and so forth. But there you go. This is definitely one of Ursula K. LeGuin's. I think it's definitely worth the almost 2 hours that I spent last night reading it. Even though it definitely has some mature stuff and some language in it and such, especially the F word is a lot. But I think she uses this maturity and depth in order to have a good point. And about these things, right? There's something that she is saying with it. It's not maturity just for maturity's sake, right? In order to say, oh, that happened, right? Well, guess what? Right? There's a reason behind it. And so I do like it, right? Ursula K. Le Guin's, well, sometimes her stuff will be challenging, right? And for readers, and then sometimes her stuff will be more comforting for readers, right? And so that's fine. I don't mind either of those. She's won tons of hugely influential in both science fiction with things like The Left Hand of Darkness that we mentioned before, that I've reviewed for you, or her fantasy stuff like the Wizard of Earthsea series, right? That put her, young adult fantasy on the map with the young, highly devoted wizard who's growing up young and taken to the wizard school and that sort of a thing. She sort of created that genre that's sort of, capitalized on by J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter, for example. So that's cool. And she's hugely influential, both science fiction and fantasy. She's written tons and so forth. By the way, this collection was collated, the Unreal and Real, was collated by her. And so forth. And she selected the short stories before she died, and she actually writes the openings and so forth. Again, I'll link you to this in the comments below. I like this. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's like an 8 out of 10. I love this a lot. I like what she's doing. I think she uses the length well. I like the documentary idea. I like her descriptions of the world and her concept, right, of the science fiction and the first contacts and such. So I like it. I thought it was pretty good. So there you are. That is The Matter of Seggri. It's the 46-page novel in this giant oversized collection, and I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. So there you go. Have you read it? If so, what did you think about it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you like this video, why not hit that subscribe button? Because there's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I just want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. Because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives. And we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.